السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا آمين يا رب العالمين. So here we are with our session number 146, and inshallah we'll start with quick review of what we have been learning in the past few sessions, inshallah. So, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. The verse that I'm going to show you today is verse from Surah Al Isra, verse number 98. So, let's start, inshallah. أَإِنَّا لَمَبْعُوثُونَ خَلْقًا جَدِيدًا. So, أَإِنَّا, if you skip Hamza, the first Hamza, which is Hamzatul Istifham, Inna, how do you label Inna? What is Inna? حرف نصب واسمها بارك الله فيك لمبعوثون. لمبعوثون. One word or two words? Number one is lamul muzahlaqa, and there are two words, and then there is mab'uthun, which is khabru inna, right? Two words with lamul muzahlaqa that comes with the khabar of inna or ism of inna, and then there is khabar, which is mab'uthun. Mab'uthun. If we do the surf of this word, where does this word come from? Mab'uthun. Maf'ul, ism maf'ul. Very well done. And since we've been learning lately about isms that act as fail, so keep that concept in mind. Is this from family 1 or family 4? There is no dhamma on meme 1, right? There is no dhamma, therefore it is from family number 1. If it was from family number 4, what should be the haraka on the meme? Meme will be with dhamma in case of big families, right? Always remember that, and this is inshallah going to help you remember. And always remember, mujarrad, nothing is added. Maf'ul is spelled as maf'ul. If you put ba ain sa on fa kalima, ain kalima, and lam kalima, you are going to get mab'us, and the plural for mab'usun is mab'usuna. Okay, so why is khalqan after mab'usuna nasban status, though you are telling me this is jumla ismiya with inna haf nasab wa ismuha, and then mab'usuna is the khabru inna. So what is acting as fail? Okay, so we have an ism which is ism maf'ul that is acting as a fail here. So if I asked you, who is the amil for khalqan jadidan? Is it inna that made it khalqan? Because inna also makes ism nasb status. Could it be inna? No, right? Everyone understands this. Don't just because I usually don't try to trick you as much. So, but still, you need to know inna already have its ism which is attached to it, which is na. It was originally nahnu and it changed it to na. If it was affected by, if it was to be affected, if the effect of inna had to be transferred to khalqan, what should be between na and khalqan? What should we expect? Can we see two ism mansubs? There should be. I'll repeat the question. If I am expecting there are two isms that are going to be nasb status, like first one was nahnu, which became na, and if khalqan also is to be nasb status because of the effect of inna, what should be present between inna and khalqan? Remind yourself of Suratul Ahzab verse. Innal mu'minuna, so innal mu'minina والمؤمنات, right? والمحسنين, it's I don't remember the exact words. No, it here, yes, sometimes we can have badal as well, but if if something is to be affected by something, the effect has to be taken over by atf, by harf atf, right? There should be an atf present between two isms. If one ism was nasb because of inna, and then there is another ism that was eh, nasb in status, if it was to be nasb in status because of inna, there must be waw atf or aw atf. There must be some kind of an atf between them, right? There must be an atf between them. If the question is, if it is to be affected because of inna, if it is connect, it has to be connected with inna. In that case, how do we connect words? Because inna already has affected nahnu, it cannot affect khalqan without a waw in between them. Okay? I think I made question either too complicated or you are not understanding it. I'm getting a feel that this did not you got it? Everyone got it? Okay. So there is only one amil here for khalqan. There is only one possibility for one amil here. And what is that amil? That you have already told me, it is mab'usuna. So if it is ism maf'ul that is amil for khalqan, now tell me, mab'usuna, is there something that I can call naibul file as well? Because if it is acting as a fail, then every fail has a naibul file. So what will be the naibul file for mab'usuna? No, so your sentence is starting with inna, indeed are we, mabla mab'usuna, are we, surely we will be resurrected? So is it we or they will be resurrected? It's we, right? So it is not wow, it is na that was present in the, it is we that is, when you replace mab'usuna with a fail, you will give it the same file that is, expected here, right? So in case of na, you will replace it with na, right? So naibul file here is going to be nahnu, right? So here, naibul file is going to be nahnu because this is maf'ul, and when ism maf'ul comes, it takes the place of fail majhul. In fail majhul, we have naibul file. Its file is unknown. Now you have figured out naibul file, and khalqan jadidan is going to be what? Can we hal to as a new creation? Yes. So some, no, no, no. What are we saying here? No, passive comes from the af'al that takes maf'ul bihi. In case of fail mutaaddi, when you have a fail mutaaddi, one becomes one. In that case, one becomes naibul file, and then second one remains as maf'ul. No, right? And then it can be taken as hal to, yes or no? Khalkan can it be hal to? Yeah, right? Is this clear to each and every one of you? Okay. Now let's look at the next one. It's a very similar one. Okay, so this one is already clear to all of us. أو آباؤنا. آباؤنا الأولون. What are we seeing here? آباؤنا الأولون. What is this word at the level of these two words at the level of fragment? Yes, that was the question, and it is Mosuf was Sifa, right? It is Mosuf was Sifa. Yes, and right? Abauna, aba'u, plural, al-awwaluna, plural, both proper. Aba'u, proper because of na, because it's mudaf ilayhi is proper, and al-awwaluna is proper because al is making it proper. So they are matching in all four properties, both plural, both masculine, both proper, both rough and status, right? One rough and status with the matu zahira. The next one is rough and status because of what? What is the sign of rough status in case of al-awwaluna? Waw jama is the sign of rough status, right? One is bidammatu zahira, abauna. What kind of a plural abauna is? Broken plural. Very well done. So both are matching in properties, right? And Sister Diba has said that this is going to be matuf on. Did you say matuf on naibul file, Sister Diba? Right? Yes, yes, and you are right. So the naibul file, which was nahnu in this case, this aw is what? What is this aw here? It is an atf. It is an atf. So the matuf for this abauna is going to be nahnu, which was in this case we are assuming it because we know mab'usuna is going to act like a fail. And when it is acting like a fail, if it is fail majhul, we look for naibul file. And naibul file in that case is going to be nahnu. Will we be resurrected and our forefathers as well? Make sense, everyone? Are you with me or it's too confusing? Okay. So today we are going to embark on a journey that we all have, taken in the past as well, but we are going to take a deep dive into our pronouns. Okay, so the pronouns that are independent and attached. The name for independent is al-munfasila. The name for attached pronoun is al-muttasila. Have you ever heard these terms before? If you have, type 1. If you have not, type 2 and put them in writing. Take a pencil and a paper and keep on writing. Do not focus all on writing, but stay focused in the class. Try to absorb whatever is being taught to you today. Okay, inshallah ta'ala. When you learn about the types of ad-damair, you will see them, you're going to see them being subclassified based on vision. If you can see them, if you can see your pronoun, if your pronoun is visible, it is called ad-damairul bariza. Okay? Damir baris. Is this clear to each and every one of you? When the pronoun is baris, when the pronoun is visible, clear, it is called baris. It is called baris. Can you all see on my screen the term baris? What is this baris? When the pronoun is visible, you just give it a name baris. When the pronoun is not visible, you are going to call it mustatir. What is the name for the hidden pronoun? The name for hidden pronoun is damir al-mustatir. When I give you in any words, um, for example, you have na here. Is it baris or mustatir? Everyone has to answer now. Bariz means something that is clear, something that is visible. You can see it, that is obvious. Okay? So it is clearly seen, it is going to be Damir Baris. Okay? Everyone should be familiar with this term. I don't want to hear this again in future. I don't know what this terminology is being, what terminology are we taught about, we don't know anything. Okay? So this is your time to learn and focus and benefit. Okay? If you cannot see your pronoun, the name for that pronoun is going to be mustatir. Damir mustatir. Damir mustatir. When I use a broken plural, ad-damair, then I make it, the sifa becomes feminine. Okay? Ad-damairul bariza, ad-damairul mustatira, because I'm using broken plural and broken plurals are treated as single feminine. Okay? But damir by itself is, is masculine. So damirul baris is okay. Now, when you come to a Damairul Bariza, they can be further subclassified. The visible pronouns or Damairul Bariza can be further subdivided into two categories called Damairul Munfasila, independent pronoun or detached pronoun, and they can also have another type which is a Damairul Muttasila, which is attached pronoun. Clear so far? So now the question comes. Independent pronoun. الضمائر المنفصلة. The الضمائر المنفصلة الضمائر البارزة المنفصلة. Independent pronouns. Is every independent pronoun rough in status? Is every independent pronoun rough in status? Wrong. Wrong. It is not. Your independent pronouns. Your independent pronouns, as we have learned in our last session, can be rough and nasb. Whenever anyone asks you, what are the options for ad-damairul munfasila? The options are either they can be rough or they can be nasb in status. Okay? They can be rough and nasb. They can never be jar. That is one thing for sure. They can be rough or nasb. They can never be jar. They can never be jar. Okay? That will make it easy for you. When they are rough in status, they are going to be labeled as huwa tawwabur rahim. Huwa is going to be mubtada. Ana tawwabur rahim. Ana is going to be mubtada. But always remember, there is a room for exception as well. So with some exceptions, do not forget about them. Okay? So the first thing that we are going to learn together is that we have started learning in our last session is your independent pronouns. Number 1 can be rough. Number 2 can be nasb as well. Number 3 point, sometimes the ones that were expected to be mubtada and rough in status may not be mubtada or may not be rough in status. Is everyone understanding this so far? Have I made myself clear? Alhamdulillah. When you look at your Dabairul Munfasila, your independent pronouns, on the right hand column, you are seeing independent pronouns that are rough in status. Ad-Damairul Munf here I'm sorry, Damairul Nasb al Munfasila. So an-Nasb, Nasb in status, Damair pronouns, al Munfasila independent. Independent pronouns that are Nasb. So we have gone over them. I hope you have understood those and you are now familiar with them. They are going to be iyaya, iyana, iyahu, iyaha, iyahuma, iyahum, iyahunna, iyaka, iyaki, iyakuma, iyakum, iyakunna. Everyone with me? Anytime you see Quran with these pronouns, what is the status for these pronouns? They are nasb status. What is the role of these pronouns? When they are nasb status, they are going to be labeled as mafulun bihi. Remember that. That is very important. Okay, because nasb and status, they can be, a thing can be nasb because of inna, anna, ka anna. It can be khabru kana, that can be nasb and status. It can be hal, that is nasb and status. But these pronouns, when you see these pronouns, they are going to be maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun bihi. Okay. Now look at your left hand column. Your left hand columns from the kindergarten, you have been taught huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu, and these are your all independent pronouns. And these are going to be rough. These are going to be labeled as mubtada. Everyone with me so far? Okay. Are these both categories flexible or non-flexible? I need an answer. All pronouns are non-flexible. The term for non-flexible in Arabic, I need to know that. And that is how you are going to get rid of your fear of Arabic. Okay? So mabni, when you are saying mabni, so that means they are non-flexible. When somebody is using this term mabni, it is me. I know that this sister knows that they are always going to be non-flexible. Okay? They always, anta is always anta. It's never going to be antu, anti, antuma, anta, anti, antu. No, it's not. It does not work like that. It is anta, you masculine is non-flexible with alal fatha, right? Is this clear? Mabni alal fatha. For example, if I have to ask you what's this labeling for the huwa, it's going to be mabni alal fatha. Hiya mabni alal fatha. Anta mabni alal fatha. Anti. Can I say mabni alal fatha? Mabni alal kasra. Now, Anna, what do you think? Now give me labeling for mabni ala sakoon. Everyone got it? Mabni ala sakoon. Huma mabni ala sakoon. Huma mabni ala sakoon. Antuma mabni ala sakoon. Antuma mabni ala sakoon. Hum mabni ala sakoon. Hunna mabni ala fatha. أنتم مبني على السكون أنتن مبني على الفتح نحن مبني على الضم because there is a dhamma at the end of nahnu. Everyone got it? That where is this mabni coming from? And how did I end it with al sakoon, al fatha, al kasra, al dham? Is this clear to each and every one of you? Similarly, when you see iyaya, one way of labeling them is that you are going to take them as a chunk, and I have attempted few for you and the rest you can fill in and it's going to be easy. For example, when you are going to see iyaya, either you take it together and you say damir munfasil mabni al fatha fi mahalli nasbin, or the next way is you are going to say iya damir munfasil mabni al sakun fi mahalli nasbin wal ya al mutakallim والياء المتكلم حرف لا محل له من الإعراب. Easy or no? Not easy. Are you getting it so far? Alhamdulillah. So, when you have your damairul nasb al-munfasila, independent pronouns that are nasb in status, there are two ways to put i'rab on them. One way is you are going to take this chunk together. Ya, you just take ya together with iya, okay? So you just say damirul munfasil mabni al fatha fi mahalli nasbin. Okay? That's it. The second way is the way of Sibawe that we have learned in our last session. In our last session, we have learned that there are two. The word is this is not one word. There are two words. Iya is going to be damirul munfasil mabni al sakun في محل نصب مفعول به والياء المتكلم حرف لا محل له من الإعراب. Yes, first one is very easy. And if you want to keep it that way, that is absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine, my dear sisters. Okay? Is this clear, Sister Samina, for you? Because Siboway was a grammarian who used to say that all these pronouns that are at the end, they are haruf. They are haruf, and when something is harf, it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. But if you want it together, if you want to take it together, you are going to together as a compound, you are going to label it as ضمير منفصل مبني على الفتحة في محل نصب إياه is going to be ضمير منفصل مبني على الضم في محل نصب مفعول به. Okay? And on the left hand side we have already covered. Okay? Now there are a few examples for your notes, and so that you have everything with you, you know how you have to attempt this. I have put in from one of the Arab books, they have done it both ways. Iyaka, look at Iyaka, the Mir Baris. Why is this book saying Baris? Can you give me the reason? Why is this calling it Baris? It is visible. I can see the pronoun, right? Munfasil, is it independent or is it attached to fi or ism, fail harf? It is independent. If a pronoun has to attach to something, is it not always going to attach itself to the end of the word? Like razaqnakum, right? Iyaka is standing alone, right? It is not, if it had to attach, it would have been na'buduka, right? Ka is not attached to the end of na'budu, so iyaka, we know it is munfasil. It is labeled as mabni al fath, right? مبني على الفتح because إياك ka has fatha في محل نصب مفعول به مقدم. And then there was another way. إيا ضمير مبني في محل نصب مفعول به الكاف كاف حرف خطاب حرف خطاب لا محل له من الإعراب. Clear, everyone? Okay. So do not forget this, because this is the bread and butter of Arabic grammar. This comes and this is going to change understanding of many things. When it comes to الضمائر المتصلة, attached pronouns, is every attached pronoun nasb and jar? I want answers from everyone. Everyone. Sister Shamim is saying it is available in every status, in all three statuses. All three. Aisha is saying all three. I need some more answers so I can show you that what I have for you. Sister, what about Sister Dilruba? Sister Afshan? Sister Nadia is saying no, it's not only Nasboja, right? Sister Nadia, you mean to say that it can be in all three statuses? You agree with the rest of the sisters? Sister Afshan is saying it's going to be just Nasbojar. Okay. So now, okay. We are going to today learn how the attached pronouns are available in all three statuses. Okay? In all three statuses. They can be rough when you see aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, nunun niswa, yaul mukhatiba, taul fa'il, naul mutakallimin. What is the status of the pronoun? It is rough. When you see haul ghaib, khalaqahu, who is nasbin status, right? When you see katabna, not that, nasarnahu, what is the status of who? It is nasbin status. When I say nasartuka, what is the status of kaf? Kaf is nas because it is mafulun bihi. When I say when we say something like Nasorani, he helped me. What is the status of ya? It is nasbin status. When we say Nasorana, Nasarana, he helped us. It's again now al-mutakallimin is nasb status. So you are going to find your attached pronouns in all three statuses. You are familiar with nasb and jar. 90% of you are familiar with attached pronouns in nasb and jar forms, right? Everyone is familiar with that concept. The first column is something that may be new to some of them, but for most of us who have been with me since the beginning of the course, they have been taught this, and this is a quick review for all of you. Okay, inshallah. So when you see here, the first damir that I have presented to you is ta'ul fa'il. When I say katabtu, katabta, katabti, katabtuma, katabtum, katabtunna. When I look at this word, kaf, ta, ba are the root letters. In case of katabtu, who is the doer? Who is the doer? Ana is the doer. So this tu, what is it representing? It is for ana. It is for ana. I wrote. Is this pronoun hidden from you? Or is it pronoun baris? What do you think? Is is it baris or is it hidden? I need an answer from each and every one of you. Today is a chance, and if you learn it, you learn it. If you don't learn it, then the train is going to be gone. It is baris. In all these cases, the pronoun, if you just focus on the pronoun is baris. In all these three cases, no one can say that I don't see the pronoun. Okay? In case of katabtu, katabta, katabti, katabtumma, katabtum, katabtunna, the ta is baris, and that is a pronoun. And by looking at whatever is the haraka on the ta and whatever is coming after the ta, you are able to find the doer of the fail. Yes or no? When you see katabtu, katabta, katabti, you call this ta as ta'ul fa'il. When you see the same ta in kunta, kuntum, kuntunna, or kunna, do you not kunna, kuntunna or kuntum or kuntuma, can you call the ta as taul fa'il? What do you think? In case of kunta, can we call ta taul fa'il? Very rarely we can call it fa'il. Very rarely, but mostly kana, that how we learn it is as fail nakis, because there is no action, there is no doer. Therefore, when it is nakis, nakis means it has no action, right? It is incomplete. It is in it's not doing what it's supposed to do. No action, no file, no doer. Then, in that case, you call ta ismu kana. When you are saying nusirta, 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 what kind of a fail nusirta is? Passive. Can you now call ta as taul file? In case of passive, the file is majhul. It is majhul. So the same ta is now going to be called naibul file. Okay? Whenever you look at your past tense table from today onwards, do not use this term inside pronoun. There is no such thing in these cases that is inside. It is very baris, very clear, very visible pronoun staring at you, and you must stare at it as well, and should be able to identify your doer based on the haraka on ta and based on the harf that comes after ta. If ta has a dhamma, you know the doer is ana. If ta has a fatha, you know the doer is you masculine. If ta has a kasra, you know the doer is you feminine. If the ta has meme alif after it, what is this meme alif called? Who remembers this ma? The name for this ma, what was the name for this ma? It is ma at-tasniya. Ma at-tasniya. That means it's a ma that tells us that number is dual. This ma at-tasniya comes after ha ta ka. Ha ta ka. It is seen after ta ha haul ghaib huma. It is seen after kaful khitab kuma. It is seen after taul fa'il tuma. and this tells us the number is 2. It is a ma, which denotes number 2. Okay, there are two people involved here. Okay, they are not always doer, right? But there are two people involved. Is this clear to each and every one of you? If it is, type 1. When you see katabtum, you know this meme is for masculine plural. Mimul jama'a, masculine plural. And so you know that you all masculine wrote. In case of katabtunna, this noon mushaddida. Who remembers the name for this noon mushaddida? Very good job. It is not niswa. It is not niswa. It is not niswa. Noonu niswa does not have shadda. This is noon li jama'il inas. Noon li jama'il inas. Okay. So this is, if it was noon, that was noonu niswa. I will show you how noonu niswa will look like, and it's coming in this slide. Okay, you will see. So everyone must know. Kunta, kuntuma, kuntum, the ta is going to be ismu kana. Will you all remember this? If you see passive, right? Nusirta, nusirtuma, nusirtum. Ta is going to be naibul fa'il, right? And don't call your pronoun hidden. It is not hidden. It is not inside. It is very visible. It is staring at you right at the end of your fail. Okay, the fail is fail because it has a pronoun. Some are visible, baris, and some are hidden, and we'll come to the hidden ones too. Now when you see this, the next one, aliful ithnain. Aliful ithnain. When you have a word kataba, do you see anything after root letters? There's an alif. When you see yaktubani, uktuba, uktuba, there is an alif in all these three cases. Uktuba is failul amr, kataba failun madin, yaktubani fail mudare. In case of uktuba, who is the doer? Uktuba, what is the siga and who is the doer? Alif, aliful isnain is the doer. So, but if I asked you who actually did it, yes, it is aliful isnain. I understand, but tell me, is this I need, yes, that was what I was looking for. It is antuma as well, because I know that there's aliful isnain who's the doer, but I need to know. I don't want anyone to say here that huma is the doer. Sometimes they may say they too are the doers, and that is incorrect, because in case of a standard failul amr, we construct failul amr from second person. So you must know that this alif, that is the alif of dual, it is for second person. In case of kataba, who is the doer? Huma is the doer, right? It can be masculine. It is only masculine huma. So huma is the doer, right? In case of yaktubani, who is the doer? Huma is the doer. In case of katabta, again, in case of katabta, who will be the doer? When I say katabta, so I am seeing multiple answers here. Let's see the table. For example, when I see katabta, when katabta, I meant I actually, my bad. I did not meant to say katabta. I meant to say katabata, katabata. So it is when I say katabata, then it is going to be huma. Nasarata, just like nasarata is huma, katabata is going to be huma, right? It is not masculine or feminine. No, it's going to be just one. Katabata, like nasarata. Look at here. Do you see doer? Everyone tell me the doer in case of nasarata. Who is the doer in nasarata? This word here. It is, it is, by looking at it, Aleph is the doer. Now, if I ask you, is it feminine or masculine? Is it second person, first person? Who? It is feminine. What tells you that the two females are doing this action? What is an indication? Where are you getting this indication that the two females are doing the action? That the female is doing an action. The ta is an indication that the doer is feminine, which is ta'ut tanis. Very good job. And aleph is telling you that they are two in number, right? So they two female are doing an action in this case, and homa is the doer in this case. Okay. Sorry to I just forgot about some that sakoon thing. I meant to ask you this, but I was giving a sakoon to the raw. It's very important from hunna till the nahnu we get a sakoon on the third letter, and I should not be forgetting that. So is this clear, everyone? So if I asked you, out of this word nasarata, where is the pronoun? Who can tell me the pronoun? All my new sisters who are doing it for the first time, please type. For those of you who are doing this for the first time, who are finding the doer for the first time, I need to know what in this word, in case of nasarata, one letter that is giving you the doer, that is the pronoun. The pronoun is aliful isnain, aliful isnain, that is the doer. And then ta is helping you figure out the two feminine are the ones who helped. Okay, ta is just for, it's a harf, it's a harf that is just giving you, and that is just denoting the two female, it was the females who did the action. Okay, everyone with me so far? In this table, in this very table, how many aliful isnain are you seeing? If someone can point out aliful isnain in this table. The first one that you saw is, let me tell you, there are only two. The first one is nasara, there is an aliful isnain, okay? And the second aliful isnain is nasarata, okay? Those are the two aliful isnain in this table. And you must know that these are your pronouns. These are your pronouns. This alif is the pronoun. It is baris. It is baris. Yes or no? It is baris. It is it attached? Is it attached to the word? How many of you think that it is attached? Sister Nadia, there was Sister Nadia here. I see Sister Umar Mariam. You think it is attached, right? It is attached to the word. Sister Afshan, you all agree. So if I ask you, what is the status of aliful isnain in this word? Who can tell me? You all now understand that your attached pronoun, your attached pronoun can also be a rough in status. The reason for it is every doer is rough in status, right? Every doer is rough in status. Your attached pronouns can be rough in status. Do not forget that, okay? Inshallah. Let's continue. So, in all these cases, the status of tu, ta, ti, tu, ta, in kunta, nusirta, ta, all these attached pronouns. What was the status, my dear sisters? You have to ask yourself, what is the status of a file? It's always rough in status. The doer is always rough. Doer is always rough. Always rough. It's always rough. So it is rough in status. Ismu kana, always rough in status. Kunta, ta, again rough in status. Naibul file, always rough in status. So nusirta is going to be rough in status. Clear? Okay, now let's go ahead and see Wawil Jama'a. The next pronoun that is attached, that is going to be rough in status, that is going to be that is baris, three things, or is Wawil Jama'a. And you can see here, zahabu, you can see yazhabuna, you can see izhabu. In all these three cases, what is going to be the status of this waw? It is going to be rough in status. Is it attached or is it munfasil? It is muttasila or munfasila? It is attached. So now you know that your attached pronouns can be found in all three statuses. Your attached pronouns can be found in all three statuses, and you have an evidence of that. When I ask you, translate zahabu, zahaba means to go. So how will you translate? They went. Where is this they coming from? Where are you getting this they from the wow? The status of wow in all these three cases is going to be rough. They went. Yazhabuna, they go. Izhabu, you all go. Wow is the doer. In all three cases, and is going to be rough in status. Similarly, when you see word kanu in Quran, you see word kanu. What is that wow? Now, in case of kanu, it is going to be labeled as ismu kana, and ismu kana is also always rough in status, right? It's always rough in status. Ismu kana always rough in status. If I give you a word nusiru, nusiru, they were helped. What is the status of wow in this case? Again, it is naibul file. It's going to be again a rough in status. So forget about what you have learned in the past and embark on this new journey where you are going to see pronouns that are baris, that are going to be muttasil, attached, and that are going to be a rough in status. Okay, the next pronoun that I'm presenting to you is yaul mukhatiba. Yaul mukhatiba is for you feminine. Yaul mukhatiba is for you feminine. Okay, mukhatib means the one who is being addressed, and you can see here the ta marbuta at the end is, you are going to see it with the, it is a you feminine. Do you see this word taktubina, tansurina, when we were learning our table in case of fail mudari? Tansurina, taktubina. In every fail mudari, the ya, you feminine right, you feminine right. This one is is the doer. And what will be the status of this ya here? Who can tell me? It's going to be a rough in status. Is it baris or is it hidden? It is visible, it is baris, right? It is rough in status, it is going to be, it is attached. When you see uktubi, 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 what is ya here? Translate this uktubi. You, my dear sisters, this is yaul mukhatiba. Uknuti in Quran Pak, you see warkai for Maryam alayhi salam. Yeah, right. We have seen those verses for in it is failul amr, it is command, and who's the doer? Every fail in failul amr we have a doer as well, and every doer is rough in status. Status of this yal mukhataba, which is second person feminine, is going to be a rough. It is anti. Yes, it is anti uktubi. Remember. Okay. Now comes the last pronoun that in this category, in the Malu Raf al Muttasila, which is Nunu Niswa. Can you all see Katabna yaktubna, uktubna. Everyone can easily and clearly see katabna, yaktubna, uktubna. All these noons are with a fatha. Do you see any mushaddad noon in this case? Any noon with tashdeed? No, it is with just noon fatha is telling you noon fatha is the doer here. Noon fatha is called this noon fatha, not noon mushaddada. This noon fatha is called noonun niswa. This noon fatha is called noonun niswa. And see the spellings of this one. See, katabtunna. This is for, in this case, the ta was the doer. This noon mushaddada is noon li jama'il inas. Okay. So this one is nunun niswa. Here, in all these cases, it is the doer pronoun. In all these cases, it is rafin status. In all these cases, it is attached. Everyone with me so far? Type 1 if you are. So in case of katabna, yaktubna, uktubna, can you any more call these inside pronoun? Do you see them hidden inside anywhere? Or do you can now clearly see them visible? Right? You can see them, right? They are baris, they are muttasil, they are attached, and surprisingly, they are of in status. Right? When I say nunu niswa is a pronoun, don't you all translate it they feminine wrote or they females wrote when I give you a word katabna, or when I say yaktubna, they females write, right? So they, in parentheses we put an f there. So but in Quran everything is very easy. You just put a pronoun that is just one letter with a fatha, and that did the whole job, and that made everything very easy for you. I hope you are all with me so far. Okay, now let's move on. And these were the pronouns that you already knew from before. You always used to call them nasb and jar, and yes, they are available in nasb and jar form. Ya al-mutakallim is going to be nasb and jar in the form of ya. When you see it with af'al, ya al-mutakallim is preceded by what? Who can tell me? Whenever ya, which is a first person singular pronoun, attaches itself to a fail, there is noonul waqaya. There is a protecting noon, a shielding noon. Waqaya means a shield, right? Noonul waqaya. Waqaya is a shield that this ya is wearing to protect a fail from getting a kasra. What happens to a word when a ya mutakallim attaches itself to a word? If I attach a word kitabu and I attach ya with it, the word gets a kasra or a zair in, right? It will be kitabi. No matter what the status is, it's always going to, the last letter of a word is going to get a kasra. But in case of af'al, fail is protected from having a kasra by use of this noon. What kind of a noon it is? It is harf, ism, or what? The nunul waqaya is a harf. La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. What is the status of ya, my dear sisters? In the case of this word nasarani, it is nasbin status when it attaches itself to a fi'l, right? Or we call it fi mahalli nasbin because it's always non-flexible, right? Fi mahalli nasbin because it is mabni al sakun. So kafil khitab is the next one, nasaraka, and then haul ghaib, the third one, nasarahu. In all these cases, when pronouns, these three pronouns attach themselves to a fail, they are going to be nasbin status. When they attach themselves to inna wa akhawatuha, again they are going to be nasbin status. Do you all agree? Inni, innaka, or innani. In all these cases, you will notice your pronoun is going to be nasbin status because of the harf that acts on those pronouns. In case of idafa fragment, when your pronoun attaches itself to any ism, it makes an idafa, right? And in this case, all these pronouns, which include yaul mutakallim, kaful khitab, haul ghaib, they are all going to be jarin status, right? Mudaf ilayhi is always jarin status. When they attach themselves to harf jar, what happens to these pronouns? they are again going to be jar in status. You all agree? They are going to be majroor, yes. So kaful mukhatib or haul ghaib, they can be ka, ki, kuma, kum, kunna. Haul ghaib can be hu, huma, hum, ha, and hunna. Can you all see the different forms? When this is who, you know it is for it, him. When it is huma, it could be for they, two, feminine and masculine. When it is hum, now you know this is mimul jama, so jama is zakur, so it is they, masculine. Ha is for she or it or her, and hunna, this noon mushaddada. What is this noon mushaddada for? You can write in English too. I don't mind. This noon mushaddada, when the noon has shadda, it is for feminine plural. It is for feminine plural. Remember that. Noon mushaddada, feminine plural. Always remember. So after ha, if you see noon mushaddada, or after kaf, you are seeing noon mushaddada. This is noon li jama'il inas. Okay. I hope this was clear to all of you. Now comes the last pronoun, but I think we will only be able to cover this one. So, na'ul mutakallimin. When you were taught in the past, when you were in kindergarten, um, what did you learn? In kindergarten, you learned, one second, let me show you your kindergarten table. So, in your kindergarten, you learned about na, right? This was the nahnu. Nahnu was the independent pronoun, damir, munfasil, which was rough in status. And when it comes to na, what was the status? What was the available status for na? What did you learn? Nasbur jar. Kitabuna, jar in status. If it is inna, inna kitaba, so it is nasb in status, right? So no, not inna kitaba, no, inna na nasb in status, right? Inna na nasb in status, right? But I'm going to tell you, and most of you already know, that na al mutakallimin, which is coming from nahnu, can be raf, can be nasb, can be jar. Isn't it interesting? When I show you word razaqna, everyone translate it for me. And I want to know those dormant sisters too who are not typing, I want them to type now so that we all learn and we don't have to keep on repeating the same stuff and we can move ahead. And I tell you something very, very interesting about pronouns. We provided. So, my dear sisters, this na, do you think is naul fa'ilin, and it is raf in status? It is damir, that is baris, that is muttasil, and it is raf in status. When you see razaqanallahu, Allah provided us. So here, what is the status of na? Is it not fi mahalli nasbin mabni ala sakun? Right? When you see rabbana in this case, is it not fi mahalli jar? So when you see pronoun na from today onwards, it is named as naul mutakallimin. So na, that is for first person plural, for we. So when you see it, first person plural, it can be fa'ilin in case of razaqna. It is going to be maf'ul in case of razaqana. It's going to be jaran status mudafun ilayhi in case of rabbana. It is available in all three statuses. Okay? It's not only nasb or jar. From today onwards, will you say that na is only nasb or jar? How many of you will change the understanding? Now you're going to tell yourself that there is an option of all three statuses for na. Okay? It can be rough when you see it in word khalaqna. It is going to be nasb when you see it nasar, nasarana. It is going to be jar in word like kitabuna. Okay, I hope this was clear. And so there's more practice for that. So I will end with this. You must all know your damairu raf al bariza al muttasila bil af'al. These are your pronouns that you will find in your af'al, and they are going to be attached, they are going to be visible, they are not hidden at all, they are going to be rough in status. They include taul fa'il, aliful isnain, wawil jama'a, yal mukhatiba, nunun niswa, naul fa'ilin, or mutakallimin. Okay, so fa'ilin can be tricky because sometimes it may be ismu kana or it may be naibul fa'il. So mutakallimin is going to keep things simple, easy, and correct as well. Okay, will you all remember this? So now your job should be in every fail madin table, in every fail mudare table, you should be able to identify your doer. There are many times you're not going to see the pronoun, and we will cover that in our next session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Keep in dua and keep on revising your stuff so that you master it, inshallah. Okay.